Say you are in a battlefield, with your team, you are walking, you are dehydrated, for example. That device with the sensors can say, okay, this person is dehydrated. Let's administer X quantity of this compound to maintain him. I check my central unit. I see that something is happening to you. You're not responding, and since you're not responding, my device can tell me the location where you are, so I can go there, and that's team awareness.
It's measuring real time my heart rate, my pulse, the oxygen in the blood, the salt in my system, all those things. And it's also taking into account my location geographically. It's like wearing an Iron Man suit. My guest is Jonathan López. He's a medical doctor and founder of Karē Corp. Jonathan is building next-gen biotech platforms for compound drug delivery across healthcare, emergency room response, and defense. The kind of tech that makes the sci-fi idea of a super soldier feel a lot more like reality. Jonathan, he's driven by a bigger mission to inspire fellow Puerto Ricans to believe they can build anything, compete anywhere, and show the world that Puerto Rico has the skill and knowledge and passion to make a global impact. All right. So, Jonathan, thanks for joining me today for this episode. Looking forward to hearing your story, hearing about Karē, your company, and what your vision is for the future of that business. So why don't you start with an introduction of yourself and the company?
Yeah, good afternoon, Heath. My name is Jonathan López. I am a doctor in medicine. I graduated from biology here in Puerto Rico. Then I decided to go to med school. So I went to med school. I studied here in Puerto Rico biology. Then I went to Universidad Autónoma de Guadalajara in Mexico. I was there for 2 years. Then I made my rotations in Tucson, Arizona. I was there for 2 more years. Then I came back to Puerto Rico, and the idea came up again and started working on it.
So now, what is that idea? What hit you? What was it? What? I guess maybe explain what the company does and what it is, and then let's go into sort of when you recognize this problem or gap that you wanted to fill.
All right. So the company started just one day. I was with my friends. It was in the middle of the summer. I was playing video games with my friend, Apex Legends. Then we were talking about cannabis, and I was talking about the smoke, edibles, all that stuff, and the ways that cannabis help people and don't help. So that was my thought, that I want to make a way to administer cannabis because it have a lot of good compounds to help people, but it's also dangerous. So what I have to do to make that safer for people? So that was my main idea, but I was in med school. I didn't have time to write anything, so I just went. And when I finished med school, I was studying one night. I was there. I was finishing, and I went outside and remembered the idea and start searching for patents. I said, does this exist? I started looking for patents and start working on it. And here we are. Karē Corp built a platform-level system, for controlled subcutaneous administration in precarious and extreme environments. So I saw the problem that, when people in different institutions, for example, defense, NASA, in the civil world, when fire departments, police, sometimes things happens. For example, accidents. And right now, our medicine is not proactive. We just wait for things to happen so we can work to work with what is happening. So I was looking at that, and I told myself, what if I made a platform that can tell me what is the actual physiology of this person at the time, and make an algorithm that can tell me what will happen to that physiologic state if something external happens. For example, let's say dehydration. Let's say a bullet in the arm. Let's say that. Let's say the oxygen. Let's say compounds, because every compound that is in our body is physiologic. So if we can measure those compounds and bring external things that can happen and disrupt these compounds, we can prevent. When things happen, we can work in that golden hour that is 60 minutes in the medic community to save that person before something happens. So we give that person more time to survive in that precarious and extreme environment.
Okay, so who's going to be using this in the moment when this situation happens? Who's going to be actually administering this or working with this platform?
Okay, right now this is the good thing. This is a dual use platform. Is modular. It have different sections. It is an ecosystem, and the good thing about this ecosystem is that it's made of little pieces. That, for example, I want to work with defense, but the soldier doesn't need the same thing as the astronaut. The astronaut is up there, he's working. You can take a lot of heavy object to the space because it's heavy, is costly, and the soldiers need other things, for example, like constant monitoring of their heart rate, oxygen, and also all the stuff that can happen, in the battlefield are not the same in the NASA, and are not the same in, for example, the fire in California is not the same as the pilots that worked with the Midnight Hammer operation to Iran. They were in the airplane for 30 hours. So there are a lot of different uses that I can, since it's modular, I can work around all those institutions, and I did to make a platform think think thinking about every institution, with different pieces for different institutions, but it's all the same. It's the same body, the same soul, the same essence.
And so is this so this platform so if I'm going to be utilizing this platform, where am I accessing it? Is it a mobile app? Is it a desktop platform? Like where am I using it?
All right. So the administration, their platform is subcutaneous, and the platform will working on the software. It will have an independent software for the process, the algorithm, and all those. The soul of the device, the software is going to be work by us. So we already start talking with software engineers to make an operative system that is safe to store the data of our soldiers, our astronauts, and our personnel in the stream places. So their data and all the stuff are secure, and so to bring our system, so I can bring my system whole. I made everything. I know what is here, and I know this won't fail you because I did it. I work with it. I work with my team. I'm not bringing anything from the outside, so I can give you more guarantees with that.
So let me see if I get this. So I have a team of let's just say firefighters as an example. So firefighters, you have a team of firefighters from one of the districts. Are you identifying each individual who works in that in that fire station, and you're defining who they all are, information about them, with their health, their existing health, and then if something happens to one of them in an emergency situation, you have all that detail in order to determine how to treat that person based on the situation that they're in, or the emergency that they're being affected with.
That's correct. The best way to understand it, let me give you an example. Let's say you are in a battlefield, with your team. Let's say you are five, so you are with your friends, you and four more. So let's say you're walking in this desert. The system have sensors that can detect the chemistry and some other things in sweat. And for example, sweat, we can also measure heart rate, oxygen with different sensors. Those sensors are distributed around the body, so they are in the
Oh,
extremities.
it's all wearable. It's a wearable device system.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. That's
Okay.
correct. That's correct.
Very
That's
cool.
correct.
So it's measuring real time my heart rate, my pulse, the oxygen
Mhm.
level in my blood, the salt in my system, all those things. It's already, and it's also taking into account my location geographically, uh,
That that's correct. The main thing
temperature,
is,
weather. Okay.
mhm.
Yeah.
The main thing is here that if you are with your team, for example, in a desert and you are walking, you are dehydrated, for example, that device with the sensors can say, okay, this person is dehydrated. Let's administer X quantity of this compound to maintain him hydrated. So if he's going to work for 6 hours, he now can work 7 hours with with his being optimus in the physiologic state. And not also that, the system know how you are because of these sensors, and that's the system. That's just one part of the system. That's you know your parameters, your physiologic parameters, because there's the systems, there's the administration system, there's the central unit that we are working right now. Is going to be, we have two central units, which will have the screen, the information. Right now we are thinking about, just for the prototype, we're thinking about like a watch, a small screen with small details, so you can see how are you internally. You know how you feel, but now you know how you are you internally. And it's not that, it's just one part, but the your friends, your colleagues next to you, they also know how you are because they have
Right.
access to your situation. So let's say you are dehydrated, you are walking, you are with your friend 1 mile ahead. I'm ready into you, you don't answer. I check, okay, let me see how is he doing. I check my central unit. I see that something is happening to you. You're not responding. And since you're not responding and something is happening to you, my device can tell me the location where you are, so I can go there. And not only the location, but the status of your physiological state. And that's team awareness, and that's another part. The other part is base awareness, where soldiers in the base know also your physiologic state.
Right.
They know your physiologic state, and they can have also the remote state. And lastly, that's the last resort of this system, is automation is going to is we thought about automation since day one, because this is the future. But I put automation last, because I'm walking and I don't feel yet comfortable with something administering something in me that I don't know, I didn't choose. It's just doing it. People don't
Right.
like that yet, because we are in the boom of AI. We are looking what it can do. So that's why automation is last. If you are in the floor, your friends can get to you, the soldiers in the base can get to you, and nothing can help you. Then automation came up. The sensor can detect, okay, this person is having this, is having that, is having this. The algorithm goes and select, okay, this is the most probable outcome here. And if nobody stop that, for example, like a false alarm, then the system starts making things automatic to maintain that
Right.
people alive for the period being, for him being rescued and stuff. And
Right.
that's the last part. And the other part, for this is the last part, the compounds, the hardware, the administration system, it have multi cartridges, so it's not one compound, it's more than one.
Right. Right. So, I mean, compounds like, obviously, if you're dehydrated, some sort of fluid, electrolytes, something like that,
Mhm.
steroids, maybe to stimulate some sort of neural response or physical response of some sort, right? Is that the
that
idea?
That's correct, yeah, because not every compound can be administered via subcutaneous. Because,
Right.
for example, if you have a compound that love water, like it can enter because that zone is made of lipids, so the water won't be absorbed good. So you have to work with compounds that are lipophilic and can be administered at that end. So there's
Right.
a lot of different compounds. For example, ketorolac, I think is the name. For example, for pain, there's pain management.
Right.
There's for
Pain management.
hydration.
Yeah.
There's a lot of compounds that can be
Wow.
can be worked. So yes,
Very interesting. It's like wearing an Iron Man suit.
yeah, that's correct. Yeah, they told me they told me that when I was here. I went. I went to the engineer to talk to him about the device, the idea. Fun fact: he found me actually on LinkedIn. I was talking about the idea of cannabis, and he reached to me, and he talked to me and said, "Okay, well, this sounds great." And the cannabis stuff. Then I said, "Okay, I'm going to make this." But then 3 months passing, I went to him. Okay, look, Alex, I have this, and he said, "Whoa, that is promising because." Alex is contracted by karē to the hardware. You know, he's the engineer in the hardware system, and I don't know how that happened, but that guy Alex contacted me, the engineer, and when I saw his resume and stuff, I found out that he worked for SOCOM, he worked for the Department of Defense, he have devices approved by FDA, he worked with Stryker, and he worked at Amazon Robotics. So I got a senior that has all the experience that I needed for the work. So I don't know how that engineer reached me. I don't know how he found me, but it was perfect for the project. And he told me that you're working with a super soldier. That's what he mentioned.
It's super
So that's
soldier. Yeah, I love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's really good. Wow. I mean, it's very cool. I mean, it's and I mean, how many like you said, I mean, sure in defense, but like in other forms of first responders, you can see this application being very successful. And
California, for example, the wildfire, there was a
the
lot of
wildfires.
people working, including Canada. They had to help, but the problem there was that if a person can work, for example, 8 hours, that place didn't help them because there's fire, smoke. So if a human can work 4 hours, they couldn't. They have to work for three, then rest. So it was hard to keep track because people enter, they can be there for maybe 1 2 hours, they have to get back because they inhale smoke, they get tired stuff. So with this device now, one of the main thing that I read about in papers about physiologic states in those people that work in those environments, that they get dehydrated fast. For example, when they go to work, almost more than half of them are dehydrated already. So they go to
Oh
for
wow.
example, for the fire department, and more than half are dehydrated already. They are not working, but they are
Mm.
there. And if an emergency surges, they have to go there dehydrated. They also don't sleep well. They told me I went to Palm Bay in Florida, and one of my colleagues and talked to them, and I put in a table all the problems. My colleague is a soldier; he's an army sergeant, so I know also my final customer is one of them. So I have different customers in different areas. For example, soldiers, paramedics. Since I'm a doctor, I know doctors, and I put all the problems, in a globe and start looking at it. So that's when I decided, okay, medicine is it has been static for a lot of years. We are working with computers now. Computers are very intelligent. We have AI. We have everything. We are not. We're getting, for example, a layoff because AI is getting our jobs because we are working with machines and we left the humans behind. So that's why I want to work with humans because what is a powerful system if there's nobody to operate it? And we are the brains behind all this stuff. AI is
Yeah,
nothing without me. AI is
that's
nothing
right.
without you. So I want to work with the human, so the human is in optimal condition to work with the optimal technology that we have. So we can catapult United States again in this area, the AI booming and stuff. So we can stay in that market.
So where are you now in the production journey? What stage are you at?
All right, right now. Okay, so let me mention this. The company was founded in January 2 in 2025, and right now, I was invited by I submit a pitch for the National Science Foundation, and they accepted. So that's ongoing. I'm right now in two incubators in Puerto Rico. I'm in the Science Trust, and I'm in the UPR IMACE, that's the public university on Puerto Rico. And I was accepted in those two accelerators. And we also have a letter of intent to work in the Molecular Science Research Center here in Puerto Rico. that is the most advanced research center in the Caribbean. He's here in Puerto Rico, so I have a place to work there in the sixth floor. So I'm happy for that. And that's right now what we have. And also we have when I started this, my main focus was, okay, what is the thing that is most valuable here? It is the device. It is the concept. What is? And I thought, oh no, it is the IP, the intellectual property. At that time, I didn't know what was USPTO. Never heard of it. I was going to buy a psychiatrist all my life. That's what I thought. And when I start looking and see from what is important, I start working with the intellectual property. So I submitted a provisional patent that was on December 27, 2024, before the founding of the company. And then in April, I submitted another one that was for the defense sector. And then in August, I submitted a non-provisional for the defense sector and the space sector. So I put different parts, condense it in a patent, and submit that patent to a non-provisional. So right now we are patent pending. We have the statement of work. We have the place. We have the team. So right now we are fund pending to start working with this prototype.
And funding stage, have you gone through funding already more than once? What round are you in of that?
No, I haven't had any rounds yet. I started this year. The whole year I did everything by myself. I found my resources, stuff, because I founded the company, and I said to myself, if I go with this idea to a ventures capital and I have nothing, they will want to take a lot of equity. So I said, I don't want to give my job, my work to anybody. So I decided to make that sacrifice for this year. I left out, some things, for entertainment and some other stuff irrelevant to focus on this project. So I took everything that I had and focused on this project. So the patents, the funding of the company, everything has been me out of my pocket. I did everything myself. So yeah.
And so you're kind of really preparing to get to the stage where maybe you might be able to present and pitch to a potential investor. Is that right?
That's correct. Right now, we are working with federal institutions in the defense sector with the National Science Foundation. We're working with different institutions to get grants. Working with grants. We were waiting for the fiscal year to open. The grants open in January 7th. So there's a lot of grants open, and we are working with the project. Since we have different parts, we're looking for different grants, and we are working with that. So right now we have 2-3 under our scope, working actively with that. So yeah, funding is, we're working with the funding part.
Yeah. Very interesting. So what's been some of your biggest challenges that you've had to step through for yourself? I mean, you're the founder, so the founder has a unique role in the sense that it's your idea, it's your baby. You're kind of getting it to the point where you're feeling comfortable about presenting it and maybe bringing on more participants or partnerships or what have you. So what's been kind of the biggest growth for you as a founder, and maybe some of the challenges you've kind of worked through?
The hardest challenge, I think, it has been doubt. Here in Puerto Rico, for you to be a medic, that's the gold standard of the family. So if you're a medic, you're on top of the family. So when I mentioned I'm going to dedicate myself to this, that didn't go well. The first time when I mentioned was cannabis. Oh God, my family is just very religious. So I had my confrontations, the doubt, because that's too ambitious. They don't understand the project. They told me, why you don't work as a medic, and then you do that. But So doubt, it has been the, I think, the worst part, because everything else you just look for it in Google, you look for it in AI, you just read, apply. I'm not a founder. I knew nothing about patents. I knew nothing about this thing I'm working. I just sat down with the technology, start reading. I use my medical skills, the ability to sit down for hours and just read. And I just did that, and work. But the hardest part for me was the external doubt. For, I don't know, maybe friends, family, everything. Oh, you want to do that? Why? You're a doctor. You have your future secure. Why do you do that? But people have to understand that it's not always about status. It's not about money. It's about making an impact. And I want to be part of this new era where we work hard with the machines, and I want to work with humans to make that step for the future generations to start building on that step that I construct. For example, like Steve Jobs, that guy did an awesome job with the phones. Look what they have now. We have a lot of them. Thanks to that guy sitting under the tree thinking about, God's know why. But yeah, so that's my the hardest thing was the doubt. That was the hardest thing for me. The execution part and all that was relatively easy. But if you want to know about the technical parts, I think the hardest part was the part of the redaction of the patent, because you have to be very careful. You have to see, for example, I have to sit down and read about Medtronic, read about Tandem Slim, all those companies that made the insulin pumps, for example, that I wasn't doing using something from them in my invention. So
Right.
technical wise, it was the patent part.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Um, when you were thinking about this project and thinking about this idea, at one point did you sound like you were looking for a lot of different avenues, but at what point did you kind of say, that's it, I'm going after that?
Well, the cannabis was the first idea, like I told you.
Yeah, and maybe explain, what was the cannabis idea originally? what
The
what, what
cannabis,
was it about?
it was mostly the same. It was hardware, the administration of cannabis. So the device was going to be
Oh,
called.
okay.
Mhm. The device was going
Gotcha.
to be called karē. The device was going
Okay.
to. Karē wasn't the name of the company. It was the name of the device, the cannabis. And it was for administration of cannabis subcutaneously, and that part was the hardware research. And then I was talking with my colleagues, pharmacists, for example, to work with compounds so we can administer cannabis in spurious ways. For example, this is cannabis wise, but for example, cannabis has there was a study this year that came with 75 million people that cannabis have compounds that they adhere to some receptors in our heart. It's the CV2, I think. And those receptors, when they add to those receptors, they cause, for example, the heart to pump harder, the veins and arteries to contract themselves. So for
Mm,
example, the heart rate raises, the blood pressure raises, all the stuff. So I thought, what if I administer cannabis compounds with for example, antagonists of those receptors, so I can get the people to feel the effects, to feel the good part, to feel the therapeutic part of cannabis, and the bad part, that is, for example, the strain in the heart and stuff. I just put a lock so these enzymes can enter the
mm,
door,
mm-hmm.
and they just keep flowing. So you get the status, you get the cannabis, you get the feeling, but the bad part stayed out. That
Right.
part, and also the smoke, you're not inhaling, so that also helps with the health and all this stuff.
Right.
And for the defense, so I was in cannabis, and I was waiting for cannabis to move from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. And I was thinking, if I stay here, I will have to make that device. That device has to go through FDA,
Right.
and that's years. And cannabis is still legal, so that will be hard for me to get capital for this project. So then I
So
was
you hit a kind of a barrier, a wall that,
mhm.
and so
that's
instead of trying to go through that, you pivoted and then went the other direction to go for compounds instead of cannabis.
that's correct, because
Interesting.
like I have seen in this work, for example, ventures capitals, when you're working with deep tech, I have read that, I have seen most ventures capitals want to invest, but if you will return the money 10 times in 2 3 years, in deep tech, that doesn't happen, you know. So
Yeah.
if you are, for example, a titan like Striker, Microsoft, maybe you can make him do something like this in, I don't know, maybe a month. But you know, it's not it's not the case here.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I decided, but when after I decided to go to the defense sector, I talked to the engineer, and I saw the big picture. I said, okay, cannabis is fine, cannabis is good, they help people, but I want to make a bigger impact. So that's when I sat down and said, okay, let's work with one of the hardest industries here in the United States, which are, you know, defense, NASA.
Yeah.
And yeah, I decided to go that way because, you know, Puerto Rico, we have a lot of talent here. We have a lot of good people, but the opportunities here are not that great.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'm working here with the Science Trust. I have a grant writer, and we were having, you know, kind of some problems with that. But we have the talent. I know a lot of people here, but you know, I just want to people to know, Puerto Ricans to know, mostly because I'm from here. I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm right now in a mountain with trees and, you know, plantains, chickens running around. So I'm here, and and I want to Puerto Ricans to know that you can do global things from here. You know, from rural area. You know, I'm here. My grandma
Yeah.
lives next
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
me. Yeah, so they need to know that the brightest mind are not necessarily in Silicon Valley, are necessarily in Boston. You know, you can do everything in every place you have. You don't have to wait
From
for
anywhere.
the
Yeah.
yeah, you don't have to wait for the moment. You don't have to work. You don't have to wait for the appropriate time. If you want something, just go. And I want to demonstrate to Puerto Ricans that we can do stuff globally. We're part of the United States. We have a great country that you can go there. We can work there. So we can bring, for example, grants here from to Puerto Rico, NASA. So I want to put Puerto Rico in the map eventually. With, you know, when people say, oh, there's a technology the United States are using, and that technology is from a guy right from Puerto Rico. So I want to Puerto Ricans to see that is possible, and me doing that, working with that, eventually bringing works to Puerto Rico, manufacturing, science. So my main goal right here is impact globally, because I want to make an impact globally in every people, and an impact locally because I know we have the talent to be, you know, in the world. So we have sports, we have artists, we have everything. So we can do it. I just want to people, Puerto Ricans, to know that things are possible. That because you were born here in an island, you are condemned to stay here, to, you know, to be whatever people
Right.
want you to be. So you can be whatever you want if you work for it. That's all.
Yeah, you got a great story, Jonathan, and I think he'll be an inspiration to a lot of people when this takes off. So, um, okay, right now, what's your ask? What are you looking for right now for you, for your vision? If you could ask for anything right now, what would it be?
Like for like let's say you have a magic lamp or something like that. Like uh,
Anything that you what you're looking for to take you to help you get to the next level.
I don't know how this sounds, but right now, since I'm working with the government, with no further entities. I'm working with grants. I'm working with all that right now. Like I said, I don't know how this sounds, but right now, what I just need is energy to keep working. I have been working. Everything have been moving more than great. I didn't thought I was going to be this far off since I started in January. Now I have institutions, I have grants, grant writers, I have science trust. I have a lot of eyes on me, and that's good because first I started out in my inner circle, and laterals. Now I have eyes of people, with education and all that stuff, looking to me, asking me things. So I just need, like, I need energy to keep working. Eventually, we're going to work on those grants, and when I have the prototype, then we're going to open the rounds for capital to enter, so we can expand to other things eventually.
Great. That's good. It's good to know what you want next, right? And yeah, man, this has been a great story. I'm really glad I had this opportunity to hear about you and Karē and what you're doing for the defenses right now. I think it's very inspiring, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be wanting to hear more about this. So hopefully the podcast helps and you can get this story out a little bit more, and can reach newer audiences and maybe find the energy. And energy can be in the support, in the form of it can come in many forms, right? Energy can come in the forms of other people who can do other things to help you get this across the finish line. So thank you. Hey, if someone's listening to this and they want to track you down and find out more information, where can they go to get that?
Well, my information right now in the company, we are working with LinkedIn. We are working on our webpage. It's under construction, but right now mostly my LinkedIn, which this is a post. You have it. I have to say my name for the LinkedIn, or
That's
you
okay.
will.
I'll put the link in the description. So, but the website's not up and running yet. Is there a URL that people can check back on with it? The website address?
The website address is actually the name is karē.com. That under construction. That is the one under construction. But we are working because karē, the name, for the webpage,
Yeah.
that E is a problem for people, and karē without the E is taken. So I will eventually have to pay for that domain for me to write karē, easier, so people don't have to. Oh, where is that E? So yeah.
Yeah. So, and Karē, let's can you? I'm probably saying it wrong. Karē, I think I got it somewhat right. Karē.
Karē, yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
Karē.
it's like Puerto
Karē.
Rican pronunciation.
And
Karē.
what does it mean again? Explain it again.
I feel embarrassed because I thought it meant square, because the device is going to be square, and I searched. I said karē means squares. I don't know, maybe somewhere I read, and I select karē, and then when I went and registered the company, all the stuff, I read that karē was a Japanese dish or something. I said, well, it's fine. Not in Japan, so nobody will know. Probably Japanese people. It's fine. So karē is a dish, but yeah, just don't eat it, please.
It's not edible. That's funny. Awesome. Well, Jonathan, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you joining me for this conversation, and I hope the listeners enjoyed it as well.
Thanks for the opportunity, Heath. Have a good one.
Love meeting Jonathan, talking to him about his very cool biotech, and he's proving what's possible when talent meets purpose. That's a great message for anybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on The Healthy Enterprise.